The Texas Rangers have just gone out and acquired star right-hander Max Scherzer from the New York Mets. Yes, this trade just went down on Saturday, and honestly, it shakes up the league entirely. Because now it's official, Steve Cohen has called this season a complete failure. I mean, I made a video about the Mets like a month ago, talking about how they were the most expensive team in baseball and still struggling to win games. And now that the trade deadline has come up, it's looking like the Mets are going into full rebuild mode. And the first sign should have been when they traded David Robertson, their star closer. Like the day before, they traded David Robertson. So that should have been like the first sign that maybe things were going to crumble in New York. But I think this trade with Max Scherzer officially seals the deal on this era of Mets baseball. Because I want to say Max Scherzer was with the team for, I guess, 1.5 seasons. And during that little run, they didn't go into the playoffs last year, where they got majorly upset by the San Diego Padres. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, the Mets went ahead and got upset by the Padres in Scherzer's first season. So that was a little disappointing. But that didn't stop them from, losing faith, because they went out and they signed another star pitcher like Justin Verlander this offseason, only for them to give up on this little experiment halfway through their first season. That's kind of mind-blowing. Why give up on this team less than a year into it? But blows my mind. Hell, we're only halfway through the season. Sure, it's looking more and more likely that the Mets won't be able to turn it around, because they had been trying to for the past, 2 or 3 weeks after Steve Cohen went and talked to the media. And yet, they haven't been able to turn things around quite yet, but there's still a good month, 2 left in baseball for them to maybe have made a run. Looks like the Mets didn't see it that way. Now, Max Scherzer, like I said, is going to the Texas Rangers, where he will be joining the AL West leaders. They are currently, I want to say, 2 games ahead of the Houston Astros, as the Rangers sit at about 60-44. And if you know anything about the AL West, then you know that the Astros have been dominating this division for the past decade at this point. Hell, they've been to 4 World Series in the last 6 years? So the Astros have been and still are very good, and yet the Rangers are somehow above them. Now, it shouldn't be too surprising considering how much the Rangers spent in the offseason, probably second most to the New York Mets. The Rangers went out, they got guys like Corey Seager maybe. I know for sure they went out and got Marcus Semien. And they also got a star like Jacob deGrom from the New York Mets, actually. He signed there in the offseason. Now, unfortunately, he won't be meeting up with his former teammate because deGrom, he had to undergo Tommy John surgery earlier this season, so he's going to miss the rest of this year and probably most of, if not all of next season. So that does hurt the Rangers' rotation a bit. But that's why they brought on a future Hall of Famer like Max Scherzer to this team. I mean, he's 39 years old. He's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame ASAP after he retires. And he's been up and down by his own standards recently. He's 9-4 currently with about a 4.01 ERA on the season. And he's struck out about 121 batters, walked 30 in his 107-ish innings pitched so far, and has allowed a National League high 23 home runs. So Scherzer has been giving up a ton of long balls this season, but that's not too bad. I mean, like I said, his win-loss is pretty high, and his ERA is a little higher than you want it to be, but he does get the strikeouts, so there's that. Doesn't walk a lot of batters, doesn't give up a lot of bases. Now, Scherzer joined the Mets, like I said, only a little while ago, 2022, where the ace thrived in his first season. Scherzer went out, got a 2.29 ERA in 145 innings over 23 starts. So this man was a superstar last year for the New York Mets, and he just kind of struggled a little bit out the gates in the 2023 season. And honestly, there's still enough games for him to turn it all around. I'm sure the Rangers will get a handful of starts from Scherzer before the postseason kicks off. Now, that's really what this trade is about. It's really about building up the Rangers to make a strong postseason push. Now, they're making this trade hoping that Scherzer is more than just a one-year rental like the Dodgers had with him. Almost blows my mind. I kind of forget sometimes that Scherzer was with the Dodgers for a very short period. In fact, now that he's going to the Rangers, this is actually Scherzer's, I want to say, 4th team in 3 years. Now, like they said, the Rangers are hoping that he's more than just a 1-year rental, especially with DeGrom expected to miss a few seasons coming up. So, if Scherzer does, if this trade does go through, I know it's basically official. He did waive his no-trade clause. But if this trade does go through, the Rangers are looking to extend him in the offseason. I think no matter how he plays or performs in the regular and postseason. Now, I know that Scherzer is the main part of this deal, but let me not go the entire video without mentioning what the Mets get in return. And as of now, the key piece in this trade would have to be them getting Luis Angel Acuna. Now, if you've heard Acuna before, it's probably because his older brother is Ronald Acuna Jr. So that just means that, like, star power runs in his veins. It's in his DNA, alright? He is the 44th best prospect in the MLB pipeline and the Rangers' 3rd best prospect. He's a shortstop, he's on their AA team, he's been having a pretty solid season. So I'm excited to see what Luis Angel Acuna turns into for the New York Mets. Maybe he's their next superstar, or maybe the Mets got rid of Scherzer for nothing. Who knows? We'll find out soon enough, right? Give it like 5 years. Now, like I said, I know we've talked a little bit about Scherzer and how he's performed this season and last season, but before that, I want to say in the 2021 campaign, he was pretty good for the Washington Nationals and the LA Dodgers. I want to say in that season he had about a 2.46 ERA in 30 starts. Has probably been the most starts he's had since his prime back in 2016-2015. So in 2021, he was very good as a rental for the Dodgers. Did they win it all that season? No. But, he was good that season for them. He finished, 3rd in Cy Young voting, 4th in MVP voting. It'd be crazy if Scherzer had won the MVP while being traded that season. Almost happened. Maybe could have happened. I mean, he did pitch 179 innings in 2021. So, yeah, last year was great. 2021 was amazing. And 2023 has just been a bit rocky, but honestly, if anyone can recover from a slow start, it's Max Scherzer. I mean, he is just one of those guys. Like in the likes of Justin Verlander or Jacob DeGrom. I'd say he's like in a tier where you can count on him to be there anytime that you need him. I mean, of course, if you were to go out and get any veteran pitcher on the market right now, he's not going to be as good or nearly as good as Scherzer unless it's Verlander, his teammate, his former teammate. And let's see if Verlander gets moved. Now that Scherzer's out of town, it's looking more and more likely that maybe Verlander is done after only half a season with the team. And Verlander did just leave, I want to say, the Houston Astros after a long stint with them. So maybe, just maybe, Justin Verlander's time in New York is done after only half a season. And honestly, if that happens, mind-blowing. Should I make a video about it? I don't know. Maybe, yeah, definitely. But if you want to see the video about Verlander, any upcoming trades during this trade deadline, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't lose me forever. Alright, catch y'all later. Much love. Deuces.
Subscribe to Bound Over. Subscribe to Jimmy's channels. Give a thumbs up.